welcome, and welcome. Like a fading piece of cloth, I am a failure. No longer do I cover tables filled with food and laughter. My seams are frayed, my hymns falling, my strength no longer able to hold the hot and cold. I wish for those first days when just woven I could keep water from seeping through, repelled stains with the tightness of my weave, dazzled the sunlight with my reflection. Quilts, Nikki Giovanni. We say a prayer for this great poet and person. May she rest in creativity. Please join me in a moment of silence. May her artwork and creativity live on through us. Welcome, welcome, artists and family. You know what it is. Finally, Thursday night has come back. Pull up a Zoom box, grab a microphone, and get comfortable. It's about to go down. Mic presented by the legendary, I said the legendary Nuyorican Poets Cafe. I am your host. My name is Elemental. Happy Thursday. This is the Jump Off, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. You know how we do this because we've been doing this and doing this and doing this. Well, welcome to episode 52. Listen, we're going to keep doing this as we have every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, streaming live on YouTube. If you're watching, and we truly appreciate you, and you would like to join us in the Zoom, the number's on your screen, 977-539-856. Jump in, join the greatest community in the world. Want to know why I say that? Trust and believe we're going to show you this evening. We do this week after week thanks to some dedicated folks who pay these bills, all right? So we'd like to thank the New York State Department of Cultural Affairs and the Howard Gilman Foundation for hosting our free online events. You can add your energy to the mix with a tax-deductible donation by going to nuyorican.org/contribute. Every dollar counts, and we truly appreciate it. Make sure you are plugging in with the dopest tech in the Zoomverse, the one and only Ron Mark Thompson, aka RMT. If you're not down with RMT by now, damn it, you should be. That cat's dope and he's all over the place, all the way up in the BX. Shout out to RMT. Listen, this is where you can find me, elemental.com. Take out the T, put in the number 2, elemental.com. Plug in so many things going on, folks. Tonight's theme, sign of the seasons, right? The poinsettia, right? Listen, it's just one of those things, right? Usually when you start seeing this flower pop up, you know that we're getting to a certain time of year, right? And so what does that signify to you? What is that time of year? What is that when you see things like this, right? Not necessarily, right? Because you all have artistic license, but what does that mean to you? What does that signify to you? So that's what we're looking forward to this evening. If your artwork is not on theme, that is still totally cool because we are still looking forward to all of the incredible genius that you're sharing with us this evening. All right. Coming at you. Next week's theme. It's the Sweet Life. Confection Heaven. There is only 2 more weeks left, folks. This and one more to close out the year 2024, right? So why don't we get into a little bit of the sweet before we deal with a little bit of the real life, right? So that's why we'll get to dessert before we get to the actual meat of what we're doing to finish the year, right? So we'll deal with dessert first, all right? That's what this is about. We'll deal with dessert first, folks, before we end the year, all right? So bring your genius next week. We'll get to it. As I said, this is how we're going to end off the year, folks. So come ready to get down. Let's end the year just like we started. All right, let's get to the rules so we can get to the artistry this evening. Artists, turn your cameras on. We are trying to simulate a live open mic as much as possible. Plus, we love to see all the beautiful exuberance that goes into your artistic performance. Also, do not forget, before or after you get down, make sure you are changing your Zoom name to coincide with how you want people to connect with you. We are all about continuing to build our community, right? Make sure you are plugging your information into the chat. As you're getting ready to rip, have your artwork ready. All right. Make sure your sound settings are ready to rip. All right. For those who are ready to get down with the music this evening, also have your artwork ready to rip for real, folks. Seriously, you have 3 minutes to rock. All right. You got a 30-second intro. Let the world know how they can connect with all the things that you do. As I mentioned, connect with the community. All right. And let it rip. Also, keep in mind that there are folks that are getting down at the number 20 spot and maybe folks on the good luck round. So keep the 3 minutes in mind. We have reached the time of the evening where most of the kids should be in bed because there are explicit lyricists in this community. I mean, explicit, right? But the founders of our cafe were major proponents on the freedom of speech, and we will make sure it maintains in the vein of everything we do. Therefore, there is no censorship other than any hate speech or any ism that people may use to manipulate, which will not, I said not, be tolerated. Fuck around and get cute and get the boot, all right? All the way from the BX up in here, you know what I mean? Listen, this is what we do, all right? Thou hast been warned. So living, breathing trigger warning. After these artists get up here and share a piece of who they are, you will see this pop up on your screen. This is when you get a chance to share all of that energy and exuberance with the audience. Don't worry about the noise, y'all. It's the rowdiest night of the week anyway. Anytime poetry is involved, it damn sure is. You know what I mean? So share all that energy with the audience, and it will be returned to you by every single artist this evening. The guaranteed list tonight is closed, all right, because signups begin 24 hours before the show, which would be Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. To sign up, you go to newyourekan.org. You click on full events calendar, and you click on a Thursday that you want to get down on, and you need an artist RSVP ticket. It's the only way you're getting on the guaranteed list, and they won't populate until 24 hours before the show. All right. If you're in the tri-state area, make sure you are plugging in with the Nuyorican Bowery Slam. It is going down in that building, y'all. Shout out Jay Rose. Shout out Paul Conqueso was in there. Shout out Luna Rosa. It was going down in there. Shout out Dr. Z Page was in that building. Craziness, right? Shout out Soul Preem at the Lower East Side Center. Make sure you are plugging in. The Grand Slam is coming. Shout out Tony McPherson. It's going down. The lineup is crazy, folks. If you've seen it, make sure you keep an eye on it. This weekend is coming. The Boss Lady is getting down. Also, Matthew Madokin is getting down. Listen, it's going to be amazing, all right? And make sure you are focusing on the entire poet, right? So make sure you know thyself, right? Focus on all aspects of you. Listen, this is just amazing, folks, right? Here we are, episode 52. We have a stellar lineup of artists that came to get down this evening. So let's get to it. There's all my rowdy friends here on Thursday night. What's good, good people? Great to see everyone. Appreciate all of you for coming through. Let's get to it. Right? Let's see. So it's been a while, and I'm glad that this cat has jumped it off. So let's do it. Coming up first, shout out the educators in the building. This incredible artist continues to come through, whether he's sharing his artistry or he's just giving all his energy to the room. It is always a pleasure when this cat comes through. I always feel your energy, sir. The one and only Professor Platinum is in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you. It is always great to see you, sir. Please take it away.
Thank you, Elemental. Shout out to the educators as well. And you're one of them, as we all know. Great to see you, RMT, and all the poets, as always. I have two short pieces tonight. This first one's called Poetry Survey. On the survey, 96% responded, "This looks like a poem." The other 4% responded, "This does not look like a poem," or chose the "I don't know" option. Comments from the 4%, handwritten at the bottom of the survey, varied from, "It looks like a lone tree in a clear-cut forest," to, "Turn sideways, it looks like leaves of grass, probably in the dead of winter." One responded, "I can't really see it since I can't find my glasses." And another replied, "I don't like poetry and wouldn't know it if I ran into it at the grocery store." Due to the confidential nature of this survey, all names and comments must remain anonymous. Also, another survey must be completed and analyzed before we can know if this truly is a poem. We thank you for your continued patience. Thank you. And this next one, now for something completely different. This one is called Modern Times. Men and women in their fentanyl folds, like yogis in their forward bends, or actors in a zombie flick. But no one is switching to the next pose. No one is shouting, "Cut, scene." Thanks very much, everybody. Thank you.
Right, right. When is the acting supposed to stop, right? Everybody's still in the moment, right? Come on now. Listen, I love when that dude comes through. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Doug Silver.
Yep. Yeah, Doug. Get it.
Thank you, everybody.
Very nice.
Listen, for what you do, sir, and continuing to come through. Again, I know how difficult, being an educator is, but you still find time to carve out some really, really incredible work, sir, right? And then he came through and gave you a poem about a survey about a poem. Like that was just brilliant, sir. I mean, just right. They said it doesn't look like a poem. I don't like poetry and wouldn't know it if I bumped into it at a grocery store. Like, come on. Come on. Like that's just beautiful, sir. And thank you. Thank you for how you're trying to make sure that our artwork moves into the next generation in the most creative way, sir. That was brilliant. Thank you. Thank you for what you do. Again, shout out to educators in the building, man. That dude was that's crazy, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right, let's keep it going. Starship is underway, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Coming up next, this pushcart nominee continues to come through, author of some incredible work, one being Ford Crescent, Black Calculus. This cat right here, the maestro, is in the building. The one and only Norm Mathematics is here. Let these folks know where they can find you. Always great to see you, maestro. Please take it away.
Hey, thank you so much for the intro. I would prefer to dive right in. I believe both of these pieces are on theme regarding change. First piece, profound change is transformation. Epigraph. Good things and bad things end and begin again. Mathematics. Transformation is the death of old, creating something new that will become old. Awareness of transformation, a balance between what was and what is, becoming. Arms letting go while reaching for the same but different thing. What's the fulcrum between freezing and boiling? Between liquid and vapor? Sublimation, when both occupy the same time and space. Invisible, becoming visible, disappearing again. Life is the dissolution of the former and faith in the latter. Balance is a meditation between the din of Babel and the silence of discernment. Inertia, the non-action that carries the end to the momentum of action. Silence carries the echo of noise, the sound, a hint of an om. Transformation is life on the way to becoming something unplanned. Next piece. Adjustments made. Reconfiguring, regaining, re-envisioning my life, reorienting some core stuff has trajectories looking different than the rainbows I had planned. Plans written on waterproof paper. Original sketches disappear in running waters. So many years after trauma of cancer spilled all over my life plans, I'm navigating instead of living underwater. Moving forward, rising, forever rising, out of heat, out of flames. Going to continue the Phoenix metaphor in my management of chaos, external and internal. Halfway through this evolution, life lives me into the next layer, a surface like thin skin, vulnerable to the whims of climate change. Droughts desiccating tender to brittle, floods drowning dreams under unexpected downpours, hopes churned to mud, a core that expands undercover, unseen, unnoticed, by wondering minds question what's different. Subtle shifts, internal natures beyond conscious intentions. Peace.
You know, so many times I say we write certain things, but then when you write what really needs to be written, it comes out like that, folks. Unmute yourself. Give it up for mathematics.
Woo! Yeah. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Yeah, buddy.
Thank you, my people. Thank you so much.
Man. Much love, man. Much love, man.
There was so much there,
Mm-hmm.
so much in so few words. It was beautiful. Really liked it.
That's good.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's, when you have to live in that truth, right? And you start to really accept where you are and you do that with it, right? That is strength, right? That is regaining a power that, you may have thought that you lost, right? But that in itself right there is reclaiming that. So you are, right, on a path and navigating, like you said, instead of living underwater, right? You are that navigator. Continue, like you said, continue the Phoenix metaphor, sir, right? Life lives me into the next layer, right? And then you said before that, the end in the beginning again, right? Profound change, transformation, right? It's mathematics, right? It's mathematics. Of course it is. Appreciate you, Math, for all that you do, sir. All that you do. Sending you strength. Appreciate you. All right. Coming up next, this cat right here has been rocking with us, man. And I'm telling you, I always look forward to what this cat does, right? And again, as we have seen all of this growth, man, listen, we always look forward to what you got, man. The one and only Eddie Foreman is in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you. Eddie, always great to see you, sir. Come on, take it away.
Thank you, my bro. Like no other words like thunder. And hello, my name is Ed Potasso, very fantastic. Please time you can join my rhyme for sublime. I got two pieces, so I won't take too much time. The first piece is called Bitter Autumn. As the leaves fall, embracing the fragile rain, do you feel the autumn's call, the orange pumpkin stains, the crisp of leaves at our feet, the trees shaking the roaring wind, the orange blanket covering the streets, the jackets and hoods start to ascend, the touch of summer still lingers, the hug of winter is almost here, the life is a big, huge stinger, the season of our hopes or fears. Thank you. And this other one is called Four Seasons by Ernestine Northover. Summer is sadly on the wane as cool autumn creeps on stage. The night begins to impart a chill, and strong winds go on the rampage. Darkness sneaks in on us early as our evenings invite twilight. Then we wake up to a grayish dawn, following a long, obscure night. The dying season is slowly turning the leaves to bright copper tones, each swooping down to cover the heavily moss-clad flagstones, thus preparing us for winter, putting the whole earth to sleep until our next spring awakens and new shoots begin to peep. These four seasons give us pleasure in their own individual way, the joy of each one's beginning, the sad ending of each one's display. Thank you.
Oh, listen, now you mixing it up on us, right? Come on now. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Eddie Foreman.
Yeah.
Eddie,
Yeah.
Eddie.
We love you, Ed.
Always.
I love you too. They can push right through. Remember, I love each and every one of you.
Man,
Woo!
your energy is unwavering, sir, and I love that about you. And how you continue to do exactly what you do, right? And I love how you just it was so matter of fact when you said in the first poem, right? The jackets and the hood start to ascend. Like it's just like that. When it start getting cold, you know it, right? Because people start feeling it. Here come the jackets. Here come the hoods, man. It's like nah, it's too cold to be cute, you know. And in the Four Seasons poem, right? It's just something about that, right? Preparing us for each one of the seasons, right? And they all give us a certain feeling, right? They all bring about a certain kind of emotional response for each season, right? So we have to learn how to deal with them and go with that flow. And I'm thankful that you put it into a poem, man, or you shared the poem with us. Appreciate you, Eddie. Make sure you are plugging in with Poetastic. That cat's all kinds of dope. All right, coming up next, this incredible artist right here, right? Like, listen, I never know what this cat's gonna do, right? But I can't help but look forward to what he does. It's incredible. The one and only Alan Gary is in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you, man. It's great to see you. Please take it away.
Thank you as always, my Eurican familia. Please feel free to respond to me anytime you want. You could post on my Alan Gary Facebook page because the posts are always open, just like our hearts. Now, this is a season that the theme is tonight. Now, to me, my mom passed away several years ago during this season. The way that I keep her alive is through my words. So tonight, I have a few pieces. The first one is dedicated to my mom and the others to all of us so that we may smile and bring joy and feel joy. And I am very happy to be here, and I hope that I make a difference in all of your lives too. This first piece is called Forever. As the Harlequin statuettes sit silently upon my mother's shelf, they watch me, beguile me. I mournfully moan under their purview and internally roar loudly, deafening my senses into oblivion. Yearning, desiring to suppress my mother's suffering, I wordlessly offer her my hand. She is near, yet so far away. We connect in an ethereal way. Pain is of the mind, and subdued when we transcend the limitations of our corporeal entity. Comforting comes forth as we share time and the essence of our beings, soothing one another's soul as we seek answers we cannot find. In the finality of the fragility of the tightrope we call life, we dare to tread and dare to love forever. This next piece is called Magic. Swirl of hypnotic ice cream, radio plays, beach songs, rock in the scene, three-chord vibration, fun in the sun, imagination, belonging with the one, watching stars, enthralling, all of it, worthy to be friends tight-knit to the ends of the earth, never forgetting the beginning of the most winning seasons imprinting pictures in the mind, scriptures written in the clouds, prisoners of the best kind, free to go and return, colorblind to imperfections, directions never needed, right path heeded, always and forever. What the Titanic was to failure, finding joy is to magic. And the final piece is called Alive. I spy the beauty of the nascent growth of a purple orchid from my garden, striving to reach the sun. I hear the mesmerizing music of a nightingale in the morning as it alights from flight onto my window. I inure my senses with breaths taken while meandering through labyrinths during my life's daily run. I comfort my taste buds at the end of the day while sipping from my favorite cup, delicious hot cocoa, just for fun. I connect, hoping to find a most perfect prize, one whose flower sings, heart soars, senses ring, and will drink from the same cup of me. Thank you.
No, again, like when you start digging into the real work, man, it starts digging into your senses. Unmute yourself, give it up for Ali Gary.
While meandering through labyrinths, bro. I love that line. That was beautiful, man.
Awesome.
When was the last time there was a meandering sighting? Like I just love it, right? This is what we do, folks, right? This is why I continue to say it's the greatest community in the world. You will hear me say that many times this evening, because the artists in this community will do what they do with language in ways that you may have not been used to, but in the most beautiful ways, right? From deafening my senses into oblivion, right? The pain is of the mind, all the way to sipping from my favorite cup. Like, just the journey, right? That poetry and artistry allows you to go through and move through, right? This is what we're here for. Thank you for what you do, sir. Continue to keep your pen moving and continue to share it with us. We appreciate you. All right. Catch your breath, folks, really quick. Coming up next, this is something that you didn't know you needed, but is about to come at you 100 miles an hour. Coming up next, one of the most, if not the most eloquent writers in the world, all the way from across the pond, right? The one and only Lantern Carrier is in the building. And this amazing cat is about to get down with one of the other most, listen, when you're talking about words, these cats, listen, the one and only Kazi Kaz is in the building this evening, y'all. And these cats are about to do something to our brain matter that I don't know has been done before. So please welcome both of you. It is great to see both of you. Y'all know what this is. Please take it away. Let's do it. Woo-hoo.
All right. Hello, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well tonight or today, depending upon where in the world you may be. It has been quite some time since I've been here. I'm just so happy to be here. What I would like to do is introduce to y'all, as per Elemental's brilliant suggestion, a collaboration between the incomparable Lantern Carrier and myself, Kazi Kaz. Now, this piece, it relates to a theme that was done quite some time back, if I'm not mistaken, regarding success, the measures of success. I do 100% apologize for it taking so long for it to be done, and that's completely my bad. Lantern has had his part done ages ago, and he has been so unbelievably understanding and patient with me while I dealt with my life's vicissitudes. So that being said, without further ado, we would like to present to you this piece titled Measures of Success, Inch by Inch.
Thank you, Kazi Kaz, and greetings to everyone. I was allured mercilessly by success and failure, running after pleasures that shone the treasures of El Dorado. These were only transient and soon became shadows with me soaked in a sea of bittersweet pineapples until I became trapped in a fisherman's net of sorrows.
As the reverently benevolent pendulum swings, adamantly back and forth, to and fro, the heavenly voices eloquently sing within this evidently elegant ebbing flow, attaching itself to letting go of everything in between, every yes and no that has ever been spoken, like a semi-frozen Eskimo yelling, "Hallelujah, let it snow."
These two imposters taught me that what I needed to measure was not success, but constant progress, one step at a time. After all, a man running a marathon does not think that he's crossing the finish line before he gathers momentum.
Down and around the gold pond of fond memories and awfully long reveries that often belong to the ones that tend to ponder far beyond centuries. Yes, I do know that I know nothing more than less of everything I ever thought I never learned before.
Now I push forward with patience, inch by inch. I can see a golden light beckoning in the distance, but I feel the strong breeze even as my candle flickers, and so I do not rush. My lamp is coming soon, better when fashioned by my diligent labor.
Allowing for a spiritual metamorphosis and photosynthesis as the resource of our celestial recourse and emphasis.
Yesterday I was dazed, dining on smoke, alcohol, and wild parties with little nourishment. I awoke at dawn with delirium tremens, my first thought being to reach for my illicit friends, followed by a wash, cup of coffee, clumsily dressed, then head to a job I hated, but needing the cash to further damage my despicable self.
With a resourcefully subliminal force and impetus way before our genesis, until we waged war with our Lord and turned him into our worst of nemesis on a horse that wanted to be nothing more than a Pegasus.
Love came calling on the lap of mindfulness and set me free. Now I ask myself, where is that drunkenness of old? Where are my bosom friends? I compose myself, no longer craving these parties that left me a staggering wreck, certain to acquire bruises on my way home, either alone or with a buxom beauty.
It seems it's whom I become. I whispered into the ears of silence in hopes that it would shout loud enough to instill fear into the violence. Refusing to acquiesce in assisting us with this mess, it seems that it may in fact need some proper guidance. I wanted to see if we could form an alliance, but I can already sense there wouldn't be any compliance.
No more insatiable hunger and thirst for name and fame. I have moved closer to my beacon, and it feels good. I can look at the news and see humans' inhumanity to humans, of men, women, and children dying from the bigotry and injustice on our doorsteps and massively in foreign lands.
Together as one, we can align with the stars, the moon, and the sun, and find time to heal the scars and wounds of the young from the abusive ones that lie to us with inconclusively intrusive tongues.
Now, even in my sacred call for mercy from the beloved, I have remembered the lessons of overdose and know when to stop, to breathe, to inhale the aroma of jasmines. I am progressing nicely, inch by inch. Lo, my lamp has arrived, and the breeze is now soft and cool. I move forward and hear my beacon calling. Heart's poise has returned, and my smiles, some say, are now dancing with fireflies and shooting stars.
Inclusively, I would even use this tongue to reduce the undisputably illegitimate and highly inconsiderate use of guns. I would even recruit a reclusive nun.
I breathe in, inhale the fragrance of this beautiful planet, steadily pushing my fears behind me. No more loneliness to sing sad songs in my abyss. My insecurities no longer wait the turn of the door keys, but have diminished significantly. Such light, my beacon is closing in on me. seems such a beautiful thing.
It isn't rocket science, it's simple logic. I want to ribbit like the frogs that like to freely frolic on the lily pads of life's tribulations and trials with innovation, style, invigoration, and smiles. I got some information that could take the population a while to understand, but I go to lend a hand.
I awake to a new and lustrous dawn, no demons. Instead, I offer my salutations to the radiant sun, kiss my wife and 2 children lovingly. I am home, peaceful and happy, and my soul basks in the joys of paradise. This has been a collab between the illustrious Kazi Kaz and myself, the Lantern Carrier. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Y'all just give yourselves a second to breathe off of that. Goodness. Woo-hoo. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Lantern Carrier and Kazi Khan.
Oh, that was
so gorgeous. Oh my God, I love it.
Thank you.
It's so good to see you two together in a collab. It's beautiful.
Right? It was destined. It was destined.
Yeah, buddy.
And to have 2 people who use and like language in their own little special complex way and to make that fit, like that's humbling and super dope. Like, thank you. Thank both of you.
It's a great way for you two to come back here. So great re-debut. Thanks for coming here again.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I missed y'all. I missed y'all. I missed y'all.
Listen. Oh, of course, listen, we always miss your work, Kaz, because listen, what you do is only what you do, right? You're just, like I don't know, man. Like you're one of one. That's, and that's the beauty of what you do, right? You don't fit any mold, just like Lantern Carrier. You don't fit any mold. You are completely and comfortably who you are, right? And just the way, like, it's how you even started from the treasures of El Dorado, right? And then Kazi goes, everything in between yes and no. Are you kidding? Like, right? The gold pound of fond memories, like on a horse that wanted to be nothing more than Pegasus. What? Right? No longer craving those parties, right? Kaz said he whispered in the ear of silence, right? Lantern said he moved closer. He said, move closer to my beacon. Dancing with fireflies, right? Such light, my beacon is closing in on me. Like, what? Like, it's just amazing, right? And this is what I love about our community, that we can do exactly that. Don't feel like we need to body anything, but we are completely comfortable coexisting in a poem that was meant to be. I appreciate both of you for doing that. That was a masterpiece. I look forward to going back and listening to that. Amazing. Thank you for what you do. All right. Woo, appreciate you. Truly. This is another amazing night. As I said, folks, there are only 2 more left this year. Let's get it. Coming up next, as I mentioned, the educators are in the building. This incredible artist has come through just year after year, all the things that have gone on. Listen, shout out Jules. Shout out all the amazing things that this incredible artist continues to do. The one and only Teflon Donna is in the building. It is so great to see you. Listen, it always is. And we are always looking forward to what you have to share with us. Please take it away. Great to see you.
The pleasure is mine, as always, Elemental. And good evening to you, RMT and poet friends. What a beautiful night already. Please pardon my voice, which was lost entirely yesterday, so I'm coming back on stream with it. I'm on theme with a new poem called Poinsettias. Only we can rival the spangled holiday furs for decorative glamour in this season of light. Yet from the hours of autumnal darkness we need to achieve our crimson beauty, we are born with a botanical scarlet letter, a crimson blaze of shame, for we are named for a man who believed it correct to own other men, that democracy could thrive on inequality, and a man who felt himself chosen to oversee still others as they walked to their deaths on the trail of tears. That is part of our story and ours to bear. Yet we know our roots reach deeper still into the hallowed earth where Aztec artists and medicine keepers knew the power of our bracts to capture the joyful color of the sun and the strength of our sap to purge fevers. For that reason, science knows us as Euphorbia pulchrima, most beautiful of the spurges. And if you must speak of us, we hope you will call us by the name by which we know ourselves, Las Flores de Nochebuena. For we are, after all, simply Christmas Eve flowers. Thank you, poets.
See, and then that happens. You know what I mean? Unmute yourself, give it up for Marianne Ted.
Thank you, Marianne.
That was beautiful. So beautiful. Brilliant. Wow.
Oh, absolutely beautiful. And so on message. It was absolutely gorgeous. Just loved it.
I can smell those flowers.
Right.
Described.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And Elemental, she's got an award that's coming in 2025 that she won't plug for herself. You should ask her what that literary award is.
And I will do just that, sir. And I appreciate you coming right back at you, Teflon Donna. So first of all, thank you for such an incredible poem, right? And for this is why I say it's the greatest community in the world, because you're going to learn something every evening. So tell us about the smell of this poem and the literary award that Maze is mentioning, please.
Well, thank you very much, CP, for mentioning that. Actually, it's been a very nice year end 2024 in the poetry regard for me. McQueen's Quinterly nominated my poem Astrolabe that I believe I have read here for Best of the Net 2025. And our dear friend Finn Bell and her book, Maori Literature, nominated my poem Voices for a Pushcart Prize. So thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you, Maze, for mentioning it. Thank you so much. Listen, I continue to say how great our community is. And listen, I understand I'm biased. I do. Honestly, I do understand I'm biased. But the reputation of our colleagues and our community members speak for themselves, right? Like, well, listen, I don't know if we're pushing carts at this point. We might be pushing trucks. I don't know. We might need a fleet at this point. Thank you so much for sharing that decorative glamour that you mentioned, right? You said born with a botanical scarlet letter. That was just masterful. That was just one of those things. As they walked to their death in the trail of tears, right? There's a history somewhere, right? And though we see this, there's always a history somewhere. Thank you for that, right? For reminding us of the Aztec artists and the medicine keepers. Thank you for that. And just being an incredible educator and mom and poet. Thank you. All right, let's keep it going. Coming up next, this incredible artist right here. Listen, when you start talking about putting in work, right? Mind, body, and spirit, this artist puts in the work. It is always great when this artist comes through because their work is so real. Those were pieces of paper I just saw her move. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourself for the one and only Bonnie Soloway in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you. It is always great to see you, Bonnie. Please take it away.
Thank you. Thank you, Elemental, and everyone. This piece is, I guess, sort of on topic, but a little bit different take, as a lot of mine is on the holidays. But this is called A Lady Grinch Lament. Dear Lord, please, oh please, don't make me see another perfect Christmas tree. One with every light intact, balls hung straight front to back, shimmering in a golden glow right beyond the mistletoe. For some, one tree's just not enough. There's one in every room, 2 inside the foyer and down the hallways too. These people have assistants. They don't do that on their own. They book Santa's helpers. Open table for Christmas gnomes. How many helpers do you need? What time should they arrive? How many trees need trimming? Will any be outside? Is this to make your neighbors jealous or your family envy green? Don't forget for social media, use soft filters for a sparkly sheen. Santa extends no credit, cash or Venmo only, please. Not responsible for pets who thwart our decor expertise. Click here after you have a look. Ho, 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 you're all booked. And Lord, about those matchy Christmas jammies, I just cannot abide. Some frontal views of dads make me run and hide my eyes. Does a pair of red pajamas take political grief away? Can you wear them out to shop, or are they one and done on Christmas Day? We sure do love to jammy pose, each cuter than the next, denoting happy carefree lives, a false pretext at best. It's an odd juxtaposition, Lord, as ice caps melt away, COVID variants still arriving, science and truth betrayed each day, democracy's losing ground, racism's openly expressed, gun violence running rampant, women's rights take backward steps. Stress builds to a crescendo, getting worse and worse each year, until at last we're served enough libation holiday cheer. We don our Christmas jammies, matching parents, kids, and dogs, then fib to all our children about a man named Santa Claus. Santa's mainly still Caucasian and dangerously overweight. His North Pole home is melting. This guy's life is in bad shape. We pray for help, we toast to peace, but if deepest truths be told, we'd rather return to some jolly old past, like Neverland's days of old. Till then, we'll keep re-upping family jammies and twinkling trees, hoping Santa's cardiologist clears him to schlep our endless needs. Thank you.
She said that cat's in bad shape. Goodness. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Bonnie Solway.
Yeah.
Yes, Bonnie.
Yeah, Bonnie. Oh, that was the first time I've ever heard one of your pieces. That was amazing. I loved your take. I was like, oh, that was great.
Thank you.
Super dope. Super dope.
Thank you.
It's a lot to stuff under a Christmas tree.
Right.
But like you said, there's one in every room. So, you know, there's plenty of opportunities, right? Come on.
Right, exactly.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's going all the way, right? That's, you know, no holds barred, right? No cent spared. Christmas gnomes and all the filters. For folks not to know a history or believe in the yarn that was, you know, woven for them to believe. I just love how it almost sounds like a poem from the HOA. Like, you know, we are not responsible for the pets that thwart our festive expertise. Right? Make sure if you take those pajama onesie pictures, they are one and done, which are a false pretext at best. Goodness. But then she said democracy is losing ground. Right? And women's rights are taking backward steps. That's not okay. Right? And if Santa is real, his home is melting and he's in bad shape. His home is melting. Like, that's just amazing. Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you for doing what you do. You're amazing at it. And we are thankful that you share it with us. Appreciate you. All right. Coming up next, this gentleman always has a song in his heart, whether he's singing or not, right? But I love what he always comes with, right? And I'm looking forward to what he has to share with us today, folks. The one and only Catman Bill is in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you, Catman. Always great to see you, sir. Please take it away.
Hello, 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 Hello. No, I can't talk to you now. I'm in the 21st century here. Goodbye. Okay. Whoops. Okay. So I have a new song called Medicare Advantage. Don't get sick before you die. Don't get sick before you die. If you get sick before you die, there'll be sadness in your eye. The deal is you get signed up. Sickness comes, you out of luck. Don't cry on the telephone, on the phone, and no one's home. They'll dose you up on liberty, patriotism, and misery. They'll dose you up on liberty, drug of choice of industry. Don't get sick before you die. Don't get sick before you die. If you get sick before you die, there'll be sadness in your eyes. Thank you.
The way that you play your instrument is so one of a kind, man. Unmute yourself, give it up for Catman Bill.
Oh, I love that, Catman.
Perfect.
Yeah, bro. Don't get sick before you die.
Yeah. Perfect for this
Oh,
week.
it's great,
I love
man.
that. Don't
Yeah.
get sick before you die.
Perfect.
That was
right
good,
on.
Cat, man. We love you, brother.
Love you,
Yeah, I
brother.
want a recording of that, Bill, so I can just put it into the phone every time I get a fucking call from somebody trying to sell me Medicare supplement insurance.
Well, to be honest with you, on the 6th, on December 6th, one day before it closed, I changed out my Medicare Advantage to my real Medicare plan. And now I'm still trying to figure out what the Medigap is going to cost me, but you know.
Well, don't get me started. It's just horrible, man. It's just like a mind-bending, Kafka-esque, trauma-inducing goose chase to nowhere.
You think
Right.
you're covered until you need it, and then you're not covered, you know? I know. Same for, why can't there just be coverage for everybody? We all
Right,
share the cost,
right.
you know, what is the fucking problem?
You better cut this off, Elemental. It's going to go all night.
What's the problem? Why don't we have it? Because there aren't poets in the places that need to be in the ears of the people in power that said this is what the people need. You're listening to people who don't need this. The people around you don't need what the people need. Therefore, the people in power don't know what the people need. Or unless I just missed the whole thing, right? I can't remember the last time a person who lived below the poverty line had dinner or lunch or coffee with a billionaire, right? Social stratification is real, folks. And when you do songs like that, Catman, like he called it Medicare Advantage, right? It's just reality, right? And the way that you infuse your voice into your instrument, sir, it's pretty amazing, right? I felt that I could hear a few different guitar players playing along with you. So what you do and how you do it, how you present your work, and the damn phone, sir, like that is just so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us. Like for real, that is just timeless, sir. I love that. Appreciate you in all you do, sir. Truly. All right, one more, and we are gonna go to halftime, and you'll see why. I mentioned earlier, this is, it was something that we didn't know we needed. Here comes another one. these two cats, I don't even know, right? I'll just say one didn't come here to tap dance. The other is like not is like a, I mean is a dismantled machine gun. The one and only Baba Ngoma is here this evening and is about to collide worlds with the one and only CP Mays. Batten down the hatches. Prepare yourselves for what's about to go down, folks, but it's happening. Gentlemen, great to see you. God, great to see you. Please, take it away.
You seen. Yeah. So we're going to rock for you. Here we go.
Bang, 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 dang, dang, ba, ba, bang, bang. Dang, 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 ba da ba dang, 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 dang. Scooby da da, scooby scooby. Aftermath. From the book I Didn't Come Here to Tap Dance. Aftermath. I'm accepting contributions from all the rednecks who want to send me back to Africa. And I'm also contributing to the fund to send you back to caves. In fact, since things seem to have come full circle, I hope some of my liberal white friends will buy me back again. Realize though, we're not our great-great-grandparents. We're reincarnated in Evolve Agoon, and we will fuck you up. We've been practicing taking lessons from the dog-eat-dog example of crabs in the barrel. Realize too that some of us read, and we ain't going for the same lies and bullshit. I watch Fox News. Master's house is on fire. Tell the field niggas to hurry up and fan the flames. Political correctness flew out the window. Escaped like a runaway slave, and apologies for protesting just seem absent from my vocabulary. Since the system showed that the government don't give a damn about black people. So get your alcohol and cotton balls. This pimple called America on the butt cheeks of the world is about to bust. Caught with his pants down, sodomized with no grease, didn't get kissed first. Feelings are hurt, bitching about Democrats versus Republicans. Hope you finally learn that Elijah, Malcolm, Khalid, and Garvey told you we gotta learn to do for self. Spit it, concrete.
Never ask angels auctioning off your prayers if they were just bored and needed something else to do. Last night, I caught a glimmering glimpse of a suicidal firefly flicking off its own light switch and cried. Can't explain why, in my second past life, I was first to throw Yeshua a baby shower, but I did. Can't explain why he got kicked out of heaven. Maybe hell just knew Satan needed a second job. Can't explain why turning water into wine turned wise men into rainbows. Jesus was just being flashy. I'ma make no mistake. Sultry, sexy, top shelf, expensive liquid pour in a river Styx with a dirty wine glass. A firefly full off a fifth of lighter fluid getting drunk in a lighthouse with the lights out. Say I ain't. The missing teeth midnight hummingbird's gospel prayer sung in a lisp that the Lord can't understand. A sunset sitting silently next to several saints in the nosebleed section searching for God. I am. Pointing to the closest Walmart, I heard Let's Make America Great Again is coming with rollback prices. No, point me to the slave trade whip, slave ships, slave chains, and our middle passage that made America great from the jump, Mr. Trump. I can arrival on arrival. With Jesus, a Bible, as my only two American idols, I keep in my rifle. Last night, I caught a glimmering glimpse of a suicidal firefly flicking off its own light switch, and I cried. Flicking off its own light switch, and I cried. I caught a glimmering glimpse of a suicidal firefly flicking off its own light switch, and I cried.
Screep, screep, dip, screep, dip, dip, screep, bang, 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 screep, dang, scrape, 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 diddle da da, diddle bye, yeah, 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 yeah.
You're an animal, Baba. That makes no sense what you could do with instruments. Thank y'all.
Makes no sense at all. Unmute yourself. Give it up for the God, Baba, and Goma, and the one and only CP.
Yeah, nice collaboration.
Phenomenal.
Epic, epic.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Headphone, Goma, and then just CP with the mic up close so it gives it that 70s all recorded feel and then back and forth. Oh my goodness, man. Y'all blew my fucking mind.
I know. Both of you have so much rhythm. Man. That collab was too powerful for CP's mic, you know.
Yeah, let's rejoice for that. You know, let's rejoice for that. I mean, that was the mightiest room takeover I've heard in a long time. You pair that up with the other collab, Lantern and Causey Cause, and we are luxuriating in the riches of the New Eurekan Poets Cafe.
No kidding. Whoa.
Yeah. Like collaborations are like one of my favorite things, and when it works, it's amazing. And I loved the music, and CP, your voice, like everything was just matching and hitting. And you know, I won't pretend I know like about music and all of it, but like that just was amazing to witness. I loved it.
Thank you.
We pulled it off. We pulled it off.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So here,
you know you did.
For sure. So listen, here's my thing, right? The fact that this is the first time that I've ever heard a collaboration able to move in stereo, where as soon as Baba started playing his instrument, it didn't just automatically cut off CP's microphone, right? I think that Zoom has finally gotten to a point that they are allowing stereo conversations now with their audio, and I appreciate both of y'all for letting me know that it's real life and it works. That was absolutely amazing. How you really just took us and put us in a space, you know, where the stage belonged to the two of you. From Aftermath to the Armageddon. I don't like, you know, Jesus was just being flashy. Master's house is on fire. Fan of flames. We got to learn to do for self. In the river Styx with a dirty glass. A suicidal firefly. Like, come on, man. Like, listen. Thank both of you for, again, as I said, to, you know, Lantern and Cause, for being fearless enough to collaborate with each other, for having enough respect for not only each other, but for what we do, to collaborate and make something one of a kind. That was amazing, gentlemen. Thank you for what you do. Listen, before we move on this evening, I am going to pass it to the dopest tech in the Zoomverse, the one and only Ron Mark Thompson, a.k.a. RMT. If you're not down with RMT by now, damn it, you should be. All the way up in the BX. Ron, how you feeling this evening?
I'm feeling okay just being here listening to these powerful performances. 2 collaborations in one night. Elemental, I think I told you before, I know you're already preparing the themes for next year. We need to do a collab night, you know, theme, you know, where everyone has, you know, finds themselves, you know, a collab partner, and we, you know, I would look forward to that. But yeah, that was powerful. And it also reminded me of your powerful collaboration that we did a few years ago in the cafe, and you on the Zoom screen, you know, on the projector, Paul Concasso on stage, you know. So I think we're reinventing everything here at the New Eurekan Poets Cafe. So that's beautiful. So thank you, Elemental, as always. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I see, you know, Cosi, thank you for returning. It's been a while. Thomas, Open Minds, I'm so glad that, you know, what a treat that you're back with us. You know, everyone who's performed thus far, it is amazing. The New Eurekan Poets Cafe, we are currently closed for reconstruction, as to stick with the theme tonight, as we're going into new season, as we're heading into winter. This will be our second winter during the construction. We closed the building a year and a month ago. But we are continuing our many amazing programs off-site and online. I am Ron Mark Thompson, one of the team members at the program team, and I'm here assisting in the background on the tech end as well. Elemental did mention some of the upcoming events that we have coming up. The year is ending, 2.5 more weeks. Yesterday, we had our last open mic at the Loy Cider Center with Supreme. Paul Skiff had a chance to come stop by there and perform for us. Thank you everyone else for coming as well. We will not have an open mic on the 25th of December, which is the last the fourth Wednesday of this month, because it is the holiday. So the next open mics will take place in January. But we're going to have 2 more New Eurekan Bowery Slam programs this coming Monday on the 16th and on the 23rd at the Bowery Poetry Club. We're going to take a break on December 30th, and then we're going to return January 6th. Elemental mentioned in his earlier slides at the beginning, we will be at the Poetry Society of New York's poetry holiday market this Saturday in Brooklyn. Our executive director, Labrua, will be headlining and performing along with Brian the Motel Guy, Matthew Marokin, and Ukba. So stop by for that. Free admission. There will be vendors from many different poetry organizations. You can purchase food and drinks while you're there, or you can be there to see the performances. So we look forward to that. Also, Elemental mentioned we do have our last Know Thyself meditation and poetry writing workshop with Charlie Vasquez of this year, which will be next Saturday on the 21st, and then he will also return in January. We will also be at the Tompkins Square Library next week, celebrating with them their 120th anniversary. The Tompkins Square Library is in the Lower East Side neighborhood where the New Eurekan Poets Cafe is. And we have so much more. We have our virtual Women Orator Wednesday on January 1st. On which happens to be the first Wednesday of next month. So you can see Felicia Kate in Zoom and be there with us virtually. And we will have a Three Kings Day celebration on January 4th. So this is a lot of programs. I'm telling you, we are not, giving up. We're not taking a break. We are continuing with events and programs. Head to our calendar, neweurekan.org/calendar. You can not only get your free tickets here for our online open mic, but for all of our other programs as well. I do want to point out one big program of this year, which happens to be our last event of this calendar year on the final Friday in December, Friday, December 27th. That would be usually when we hold our final Friday Slam, where all the winners from the Monday New Eurekan Bowery Slam programs compete. But it is the end of the year, so instead, all the final Friday Slam winners will be competing in our annual Grand Slam. And the prize money, if you win it, is $1,000. So if you've seen some of our final Friday Slam winners, if you want to see them competing, and if you're in New York City between the holidays, stop by, get your tickets. We will be at the Apollo stages at the Victoria Procope Theater, which is in Harlem, New York. Sorry, we can't be in our building as we're closed, so we will be in Harlem instead. You can get your tickets at the Ticketmaster ticket site. You can just link through us, neweurekan.org/Grand Slam, and you can get your tickets and events there. Or if you feel a little bit lucky, you can also try donating to us and be entered in a raffle to win tickets. We are giving away 2 free tickets to the Grand Slam. So a week and a half ago was Giving Tuesday. Like many other non-for-profit organizations, we, the New Eurekan Poets Cafe, reminded everyone that you can donate tax deductible to us to help keep many of our programs alive and continue our operations. And between last week and December 20th next week, every $5 you donate on our donation page will give you 1 entry into the raffle. So if you donate $20, you get 4 entries. If you donate $50, you get 10 entries. If you want to participate and be in the raffle to win the ticket to the Grand Slam, just make sure you put Giving Tuesday inside the donation field. And you can do that at neweurekan.org/contribute. If you don't want a ticket, if you're not going to be in New York City, we still welcome all donations because there is a lot of operations, obviously, and a lot of cost overhead to run these many programs for you, but we are so happy to do this for all of you. So we hope to see you at the Grand Slam. We hope you can donate, or we hope to see you at many of our other programs. Just head to our ticket site, nuyorican.org/calendar, and there you can see all of our upcoming programs. And if for any reason you were not able to get your artist RSVP ticket for tonight, let Elemental or me know in the Zoom chat, and we will add you to the good luck round at the end. And by the way, it's been a while since we had our 20 guaranteed spots go so quickly, but yesterday, after we opened it 24 hours before at 8 p.m. Eastern time, before 9 p.m. Eastern time, less than an hour, all 20 spots were giving away. So we're ordered. So thank you everyone for keep coming here, for doing collaborations, for doing single performances. We all appreciate you. On that note, let us go to our next performer, who is in New York City. I am zooming in from the Bronx, which is north of Manhattan, where the Nuyorican Poets Cafe is. Jacob, I believe, is zooming in from Staten Island, from the other borough of New York City. Welcome back, Jacob. Good to see you. You know how it goes by now. Let everyone know where we may follow you. The next 3 minutes are all yours.
Thank you, Ron. You can follow me on Instagram at Jacob Ruben Moses, JACOBREUBEN, like the sandwich, MOSES. You can also find me online, poetryofjacobmoses.com. Little announcement, so much collaboration happening. I'm actually collaborating with Doug Calla, who is in the room. And we put out a book together called Tuesday Night Beats, which should be released next month. We also performed together. Tonight we're going individual. This is one of my signature pieces, which I haven't read at the Nuyo at all, so it's probably new to you. It's called Palace Amusements. Asbury Park greets me within your thin-lipped, toothy smile. At the end of every labyrinth, you straddle the seashore's yen. You are a funhouse mirror distorting my figure, yet always finding abundant embodiment within my gut. My navel yearns for that connection to amusement within these vibrant walls. Love was the product of jackpots won from slot machines dispensing ducats. Tokens tossed from one hand, arm pulled by the other hand. You were the windfall stashed within this chest of hazy nostalgia. Adulthood proves more haunting compared to the cart carrying me through those mysterious halls. Wishing I could be hypnotized just so I could catch a spoonful of what once satiated my satisfaction. One taste of the sacrament derived from riding the roller coaster before it became a cliche denoting a diagnosis. Before mania surged through my synapses like a Jimi Hendrix guitar solo. After bumper cars foreshadowed the accidents I'd face throughout these static frequencies of depression. If you were a Eucharist, I'd be an idolater. For you were the body of a god I tasted before knowing what it meant to be a righteous Jew. You were the excuse I needed to play hooky from Sunday school. You were the choir who greeted me before I possessed the voice to echo any calls I desperately needed to answer. You were the calming voice I needed before my own soothsaying emerged. Now the tongue with which I speak needs to taste the honey into which I dip my apple. Now this fruit store's nectar of passing years in a cloud, accessed via my digital thumbprint, repressed via my carbon footprint. Pollen is carried by a generation of workers and drones. If I left an intention on my doorstep, I'd wish for it to be carried by the westerly wind. I'd hope the corners of the crown in my castle mirrored this palace of amusements. I'd pray the pleasantries could be contained by the channels from which we feel joy. May our data be easy to transmit, even if our devices are outdated. May said devices be reused as analog anecdotes. Let them be paperweights for the childhoods we cherish, preserving a trail back to the inner offspring struggling to spawn and survive. Poem.
Yo. May our information be downloadable in any generation. Come on, man. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Jake Hogan.
Amazing, man.
Dope piece,
That
man.
was awesome.
Heavy
Unbelievable.
bars, yeah.
Breathtaking. Mind blowing. Wow.
That's great.
Yeah, so
thank you
dense.
so much.
So dense, the word work, and so many great phrases. If you were the Eucharist, I'd be the idolater. I think I've had that feeling a lot of times.
Feel ya. Feel ya.
Yeah, see, you see, listen, I know, I continue to tell you, I know I'm biased, right? But listen to the community. They'll tell you why it's the greatest community in the world, right? We get idolater sightings, right? Like that piece was called Palace Amusements. Frequencies of depression. I mean, listen, it's got to be some heavyweight things to get you to play hooky from Sunday school, right? But let me tell you, the things that you learn playing hooky from Sunday school are the reason why they wanted you to stay in Sunday school. But listen, thank you, man. Like, for real, I can see why I can see why you feel like that's a signature piece, right? Because I can feel every stroke of your signature in that poem, right? And I can feel what you do every time you rip it, even though, yes, it is a new poem for us, but amazing. So thank you. Keep putting in that work, man. Come on. What's the second piece? That's what I want to hear next. What's your second piece? If that's the signature piece, what's number 2? All right. Listen, before we move on, make sure all of you show your love to RMT. That cat is all the way dope. Really wouldn't be able to make this thing work without RMT. Appreciate you, Ron, for all that you do, man. All the way up in the BX, baby. Appreciate you, Ron. Truly. All right, y'all. Let's keep it going. Coming up next, all the way in Brooklyn, this artist continues to come through with some amazing storytellers. Shout out to storytellers in the building. The one and only Markencia is here. Let these folks know where they can find you. It is always great to see you. Please take it away.
You can find me here. Seasons. Bare twiggy boughs, bones bleached a dusty gray. A pale misty frost, thaw and fade. Ginger, cinnamon, honeycomb soothe the ache. The mind roams restless into the void of emptiness. Seedlings take root, breath unfolding blooms. Rain, spring marrow into its shoots. Dew crowned with hue, paper thin winged worms hatched from cocoons. I hear crickets in fields of green, numbing the silence of my screams. Tides raised to mountain peaks, sunflowers towering over trees. Fireflies beam into the night. Sun shines 3/4 towards midnight. A whistling breeze summon loose leaves of crimson, amber, saffron, emerald green. Fallen souls, ancestral blood ground the earth, nourishing the coarse coffee clay. Squirrel and chipmunk stuff their cheeks. Toasty, sweet, spicy pine cones dispersed in the weeds. Thank you.
Who would ever think that a pine cone is sweet and spicy? Unmute yourself. Give it up for the one and only Markencia.
Beautiful.
Well, thanks. That poem was so full of so many, there was this playing in my senses like a piano.
Thank you for saying that, Jedi Master. Indeed. And that is what I like to call texture in poetry, right? When you can feel it because your senses reach out to you, right? And you can't help it, right? That's the texture in that poem, right? And I'm telling you, I don't know, listen, I don't know how you do it, but the way that you bring about ingredients in your poetry, Marquencia, is amazing, right? And again, this evening, you mentioned ginger and cinnamon and honeycomb, right? And there was even a saffron sighting. Like how you incorporate your ingredients as a part of your mastery is incredible. Please continue to do just that. Listen, listen, you never know. Again, this is why I say it's the greatest community in the world. Shout out Escape Artist who was in the building. I'm not sure if they're still in the building, but shout out Escape Artist. Also, Principe is in the building. Listen, let's keep it going. Coming up next, again, I mentioned the storytellers in the building. This incredible one. Oh my goodness. Listen, the thing about great artists, great writers, great storytellers is that they never run out of stories. They never run out of art. They never run out of creativity. And this is one of those cats. I like to call this cat the Vincent Price of poetry. The one and only Ike Waltz is in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you. Always great to see you, sir. Please take it away.
I read this piece only at Christmas time. It is such damn Christ-messy poetry. Pizza Angelicum, a seasonal ticket. In Excelsior Dei Diddledum, Sanctus Sanctus, in Gloria Jingle Bells Angelicum. In Excelsior Dei Diddledum, Sanctus Sanctus in Gloria, Jingle Bells Angelicum. Nothing but sum, that miraculous Latin curriculum. Hallelujah, hallelujah, Dada 101. Mozart's boom, boom, Basilica moratorium. The trumpet screams, tetre, tra. The squeeze box squeezes children into materia. Emergencies at a bargain. The organ tells a tale of a drama so supine. Bach attempts in suicidal notes, bullets and guns in juvenile hands. Trampolini twitters X is out of place, just in case he crowns his tree that glitters, lines his pockets, and under thee, on our knee, we deserve better. At least we hope so. Don't bury vigilance in a Christmas box. Yet shiny red silky ribbons may look festive on that busy day. Who is alive in Yemen, Syria, Israel, Palestine, Ukraine, hysteria? How can anybody sleep anyway? Politics so repugnant, so everyday. The bloody trigger finger points, the daily killed, lost count. The mothers of all bombs excites, the father of all bombs ignites, and in doubt promises spew louder than loud that brainless, deadly mushroom cloud. The violin jubilates, happy, happy Christmas Day, we pretend to pray. Holy, jolly, scratch, shrum, shrum, the orchestra responds at familiar chorus, dum, deedle, boom, bang, boom. Pray for that la-la time of Christianity. Sing, sing, ding along, sing along that everlasting, that so familiar, what we are so dearly trained to love. That annoying flicker of the candle, chocolate flakes and icing on blue-eyed baby Jesus, Christmas nutty butter cake. Melancholy? Melancholy? Pray for the power of the NRA. Opioids kiss little children into good night. Whose blood does not clot when you exhale that classic tale called, oh my God, it's Christmas Day. In Excelsior Dei Diddledum, Sanctus, Sanctus in Gloria, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Hallelujah. Just don't take our price away. That loaded pizza Angelicum, our Gloria Americum. On my knees I spray, chibum, chibum, und sac spaghettis basilicum. Omnis spiritus laudet Dominum in excelsior. Missa mirabile dictum de dildum hypocrisy in delirium. Missa mirabile dictum de dildum, yet hypocrisy seems forever in delirium. So let the trumpet blow, let the fiddle sing, let the drummer jubilate, and the candlelight forever will tickle and enlighten me. Thank you.
Yo, I don't know what tree he just went all the way around, y'all, but that was incredible. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Ike. Whoa!
You are amazing, brother. Whew.
Yeah, I think tree's the operative word there. Like there's like the delivery was like a cross between Poirot and a stoned Christmas elf, you know?
I mean, you know, listen, this is what happens, you know what I mean? When the ice is melting, right? And they got spiked hot chocolate, right? It goes down. It goes down, right? Some real deal stuff. Listen, I don't know how. I don't know. Listen, only in poetry, right? This is why I say it's the greatest community in the world, because true fearlessness through poetry is on display in our community. And I'm thankful, Ike, that you found your voice to speak it as loud as you do. And you're amazing with it. That cat said, "Don't bury vigilance in a Christmas box." The mother of all bombs excites the father of all bombs. Come on. Opioids kiss little children into good night. Hypocrisy seems forever in delirium. Thank you, sir, for doing what you're doing. And listen, for all the things you have to come, sir. You're amazing. Truly appreciate you. All right, let's keep it going. Listen, the next few artists that are coming at you, prepare yourself, right? We're going into zero gravity. Trust and believe. Coming up next, this incredible artist comes through with just some incredible word work. You want to know why I say that? Trust and believe. He's about to show you. The one and only Douglas Collar is in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you. Plus, we heard a little hint of what is to come. We're looking forward to that too, sir. Please take it away.
Yeah. So, you know, very, got that Tuesday Night Beats coming out in January. Very excited about that. It's published by an international beat poet laureate. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, I'm gonna get right into this. This one, I'm gonna drop a little social commentary for you. Here it goes. Light the candle. Splintering of conscience, a meeting adjourns. Able-minded warriors utilize their skills, muscled by the gods. They, in lockstep with the rhythms of conformity, lies espoused from tongues too coarse for cohesive speech. Satellites installed by super conglomerates spy on society. Frontier of evolution have amounted to this. A new technological arms race, speeches to save face, do no courtesy, stifled by corruption. We need a reduction in rampant injustice, laced by rhapsody. They think if you sing it, it'll be a little more palatable. Purgatory probes. Can we galvanize hope in force to act as a lure for better tomorrow? Waves of tepid oceanic filth clog a once clear shoreline. Agricultural abundance once deterred the abominable. We are all bearing witness to a new age of man, a sinister web of name-calling and self-aggrandizement that even cosmetic surgery can't obscure. It is time to take the victors to task. Poem.
And see, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? That's what you're supposed to do with it. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Douglas Collum.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know what worked so really tough for me on that was your physicality, what you were doing with your delivery and getting so physical. It was like a kind of visual baseline with the way you we're waving the pronouncements into the screen like that.
Thank you.
You know, that is an interesting idea, Jedi Master, right? To see everyone's voice in a color spectrum as they're spitting it, that would be pretty incredible. And I just appreciate the fact, Douglas, that you mentioned you called it social commentary, right? You know, it's something about that, right? When you are just living in that world and you're, letting the world know, hey, this is the real life, that what's going on, right? Galvanize hope, right? A sinister web of name calling, right? Listen, when you are in it, again, you tell the story that, again, you think people need to hear. And that's where the truth comes from. So continue to do that. We are looking forward to what you're going to create, whether it be in a collaboration or solo. Make sure you bring it back and share it with us. Truly appreciate you. All right. Coming up next, listen, we got this cat back. Listen, it is always a pleasure when this cat comes through because he is so uniquely him, right? The way that he rips his perspective and the way that he brings it to you, you are not gonna forget about it. I like to call this cat the Dragon of the West. The one and only Keith Marr is in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you. Always great to see you, sir. Please take it away. One second, sir. Can't hear you just yet. We can't hear you just yet. We're getting there. One second, sir. There we go.
Can you hear me?
Absolutely. Please take it away.
Okay. So thank you, Elemental, for holding this special space, and for my fellow poets for co-creating what is becoming a place I'm looking forward to coming to. So there's a saying that shame dies when stories are told in safe spaces. I hope this will be true for this piece. And if I'm honest, it's the most difficult piece I've written to date because of the shame I knew I would face in writing about my mother. So I've been avoiding this for a long time, consciously or unconsciously. This is entitled, I Don't Want to Write a Poem About My Mother. I don't want to write a poem about my mother because then I would have to tell you. My mother would say she wished she were dead when she was upset. The 4-year-old me was afraid she might kill herself and take us with her, poisoning our food. I would eat very slowly and pray that we would be alive when we finished. I don't want to write a poem about my mother because then I would have to tell you I don't remember ever being held by my Chinese mother. I don't want to tell you that because then I'd have to tell you that when I went to the barber's, I felt a thrill soothing yet confusing. Whenever the barber ran his comb through my hair, I feared I was weird or sick. When my body was merely starving for a mother's touch, like one of Harlow's monkeys. It's sad that the only time I felt the comfort of human touch was at the barber's. I don't want to write a poem about my mother because then I would have to tell you. My mother would tell me terrible things about my dad, her many hurts and disappointments at his hands, even his poor taste, how she could not imagine how anyone could like mustard, Frank Sinatra, or pickles. I was her therapist, untrained and unsupervised. I vowed never to let her down like my dad, and never, ever like mustard, Frank Sinatra, or pickles. I don't want to write a poem about my mother because I don't want to tell you, although we had a piano in our house for over 40 years, I never heard her play it once. I wondered if she played it when the house was empty, when she was safe from imagined judgments. She was acutely self-conscious. Once she was asked to show her ID while we were buying groceries. With resignation, she handed her ID, but my poor mother kept her thumb on her picture. I remember the clerk saying, "Ma'am, you have to take your thumb off your picture so I can see it." It was a moment imbued with her shame and mine. I wonder if my mother had listened to America whisper in her ear that yellow bodies and black and brown bodies were not beautiful. I've also come to wonder if the piano keys felt abandoned and neglected, yearning to be touched, as abandoned and neglected as my brothers and I felt. I don't want to tell you I never cried for my mother. When she passed, I used to fear I must be a bad son. Now I realize the tears I haven't shed are still there within me, waiting for the opening of my heart. Thank you for listening.
You know, folks, I have said, and I will continue to say, we have a great time writing about funny and fluffy things, but when you have to put in the work, it comes out like that. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Keith Moore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
beautiful.
Very
Lovely,
touching
lovely.
work. Very touching work.
An emotion.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you.
for
Thank you.
trusting us in this space to, as a place for you to be able to create the closeness that you just did, between your mother, making that poem. That was a really wonderful tribute in a difficult way.
Was.
And it was
Very,
so
very.
compassionate. It was so compassionate that you're able to understand that it very well may be the environment that she was in that caused her to behave the way she did.
The thing that was really meaningful to me was how many things happen in your childhood that stay with you forever and ever and ever. And it's only when you talk about it like that, it reminded me a lot of my childhood also. And those things are just with you. You think you're over, but you really aren't. So I thank you so much. It was really beautiful.
Yeah, I like what you just said. You know, it's that thing, the situation where you may not want to talk about or externalize things, but you never stop feeling them and they keep speaking to you forever.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
thank you. My
So-
story insisted I share it, even though I didn't want to.
Exactly. That's what happens.
Yes. No, thank you for sharing that. Like, I feel you, brother, for real, like more than you can imagine. And like, it almost brought me to tears, quite frankly, man. I needed to hear that to help me.
Thanks so much, everyone.
For real.
Listen, this is why I love what we do. This is why I say, you know, this is one of the greatest nights in the week. You know what I mean? Don't worry about the noise. It's because of things like this, right? Because all of that energy gave strength and power to the Dragon of the West to be able to come through and spit that poem. He said, I didn't want to write that poem. I didn't want to write that poem about my mom, because if I did, I would have to tell you about the prayers that I had that hopefully we finish this meal. Who wants to say that? Who wants to tell those stories? Who wants to tell those tales of truth? No one. But a poet has to, as you said, right? All you had to do is get out of the way, right? Make sure that you were available for that download, get out of the way of it and let it write itself. That is a sign of strength, sir. And we thank you for sharing it with us. It is very difficult. Oh, I'm coming back at you. Coming back at you, sir. Please, coming back at you. Please share it with us.
It was very telling, Elemental. That night, I had a dream where there were breadcrumbs on the path, and I was picking them up. And as I did that, it was taking me to where my healing lies. And then I felt like, yes, I listened to myself and my intuition. So I felt a lot lighter ever since I wrote them. I really recommend it. If there's something you're fucking scared to death to write about, it, do it.
Oh my goodness. You see what he just said? Something you're scared to death to write about? Do it. That is the work, folks, right? Not all of that rainbows and you know what I mean? You know, it's the work that just, you know what I mean? Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. That's just one of the realest poems I've heard in a while, sir. Thank you for that. And thank you to the community for letting him know how it made you feel as well, right? It's important for your colleagues to know how you feel and how it made you feel. So thank you all for that. All right, let's keep it going. We have 4 more on the guaranteed list and 3 so far on the good luck round. Let's keep it going. Coming up next, this priestess continues to come through. Listen, and we always, you know, are not able to hear from this artist, but when she does come through, it is always a blessing for her divine energy to come through and bless us. The one and only Oshun Yoyen is in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you. It is always great to see you. Please take it away.
Well, y'all can find me on the other side of winter praying for summer to come. I didn't write anything about the seasons. I hate this season with a passion. And since I don't celebrate the holiday, that doesn't mean a lot to me, other than the fact that I call it gift giving season. And the one thing that everybody else complains about this season is the one thing I like. They're going out buying presents, watching people's face light up one in the morning or what you bought them. I like that. Everybody else complains about it. It's cashless, it's capitalistic, it's blah, blah, blah. Well, I like gift giving season. But anyway, my poem has absolutely nothing to do with that. Absolutely nothing to do with that. And it's short. I was going to do 2, but I'm only going to do 1. Some things just can't be legislated. Bills can be drafted, laws enacted, crimes persecuted, all precautions taken, safeguards logically erected, like the digital billboards in Times Square, but you can't legislate emotion. Majority publicly held treasured opinions that show up in cute slogans, in songs, in advertisements, promoted on holidays, in rainbow colored cheerful declarations, acceptable notions everyone professes to live by, but you can't legislate tolerance. Fairness, understanding, acceptance may be the building blocks of community interaction, but you can't legislate good character. Laws against hate crimes, but we still have hate. There are religious laws against killing, but you can't stop murder. We have laws against every conceivable wrong that individuals do to each other, but you can't legislate love.
Oh my goodness. You see what I'm saying? It just comes through and just does that. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Oshun. Yo, yeah.
That's the kind of lesson that not enough people listen to. That's for sure.
I wouldn't mind if the legislature spent more time trying.
No, that's what I mean. Like, the only reason they keep getting it wrong is because they don't have a poet on the payroll. Just saying. You want to know how the people feel? Talk to the poets. As you mentioned, Priestess, some things can't be legislated. You can't legislate emotion. You can't legislate tolerance. You can't legislate good character. But you expect so much more from people. Allow them to do what they do. But listen, I continue to tell people, right? So many of us live in the assumption that common sense is common, and it's not. Unfortunately, it's not. Thank you so much for what you do, Priestess, and sharing it with us. Listen, you are a valued member of our community, and we are thankful that you continue to share your artwork with us. All right, let's keep it going. Coming up next, I see this cat has been in the building all evening. I'm not really sure, but I believe so. Is this your first time getting down with us this evening, Mr. Valdez? Please unmute yourself.
All right. Yes, it is. And I'm really happy to be here.
Fantastic, man. Listen, without giving us your address, please let us know where in the world you are plugging in from this evening.
I am in Falls Church, Virginia.
Oh, let's go. VA in the building. Wait, listen, man, great to see you. Appreciate you for coming through, man. I don't know where you've been, but listen, welcome to the greatest community in the world. You see how it's been going this evening, right? Let these folks know where they can find you, man. Welcome. Great to see you. Please take it away.
Awesome. Thank you very much. It's been great being here. And I'm hoping to deliver it at least somewhat as good as everything I've heard today. So let's give it a shot. I have a couple poems, and let's go. First one is Not Your Typical Poet. I am not your typical poet. I don't speak only in rhyme, and bongos don't magically appear when I have something important to say. I am not your typical poet. Poems don't just come to me after viewing the constellations, nor do I have the urge to live amongst the trees. I am not your typical poet. I don't have an MFA, but I do have enough poetic vision to fill up a Thanksgiving Day parade float. I am not your typical poet, because typical poets may find my writing to be shallow, selfishly focusing on myself when I should be writing about nature and the spiritual being. See, my poems are mostly grounded in reality, except when words like ladybugs crawl up my arm and rest on my shoulder, waiting for the perfect time to cannonball jump on the page, or interrupt me when I'm eating empanadas de queso at 8 a.m. on a Saturday. And sometimes these words don't let me sleep, prying my eyes open in the middle of the night and forcing me to create art that only other atypical people will appreciate. And maybe that's who I choose to write for, create for, bare my soul for. People who have had doors slammed in their face time after time, but refuse to stop trying, believing, and dreaming. People who don't know how to be anything else but themselves because at the end of the day, maybe we shouldn't want to be typical. And maybe, just maybe, we should just want to be original instead. All right, do another one. All right. I want to write a poem. I want to write a poem not thinking of meter or rhyme or spend hours obsessing over the first 2 or 3 lines over and over again. I want to write a poem that makes me laugh out loud as I come up with each line, and like static electricity makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. I want to write a poem and not feel guilty if it doesn't include every example of figurative language or use all the elements of poetry at the same time. I want to write a poem and not worry if a publishing editor will love my work. Maybe an audience loving it can be enough. I want to write a poem for me and not solely write for an audience, though the reaction of an audience is honestly one of the biggest reasons why I write. I want to write a poem where the words take the shape of a dragon as it's read, rising from the page while blowing clouds of smoke over your head. I want to write a poem that allows me to levitate on stage while holding a microphone in my hand. I want to write a poem that makes me forget that I used to be terrified of performing for an audience. See, this is the poem I want to write, a poem that takes no prisoners, a poem that breaks conventions. This is the poem I need to write, express, perform, a poem that grabs you by the shirt collar and forces you to pay attention. Thank you so much for having me tonight.
Yo, that's that shit that gets you excited right there, yo. Yeah, that's that work. Unmute yourself, give it up for Walker Valdez.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's the kind of poetry I go for, Walker. You grab me by the collar with a poem anytime. You also had a lot of good lines that kind of I like to put on a plaque on my wall, like maybe we shouldn't want to be typical.
Thank you very much.
And you succeeded magnificently. I mean, you succeeded in everything, both pieces.
I love the way you used your vulnerability to get into what you wanted to say. And that was a really special way to do it for both of your pieces. And I just appreciate that. I thought it was great.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
So Walker, you got to keep coming back here.
Yeah,
definitely.
Nice
Yeah.
pieces. Nice pieces. Liked it. Loved it. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You see what
Especially
happened?
the
You see what
second-
happened, Walker? You just now fucked up. They just took, your community member just told you, you fucked up. Because now you got to be here every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, right? Because you have people here that want to hear more, right? That was just round 1, right? And you get to hit us with a 2-piece in round 1. Like, now you got to come through and, where's the biscuit, right? Where's the pepper? Where's the, you know what I mean? And as Jedi Master said, right, like there are things that you mentioned, right? And a few of your colleagues, make sure you check the chat, right? Well, he said, bongos don't magically appear when I start spitting my poetry. Like that was serious business, right? I don't have the urge to live amongst the trees. Yeah, some of us don't. I don't have an MFA. Yeah, some of us don't. But, before it was a thing, people were still doing this poetry thing, right? Let's keep that a bean, not taking nothing away from anyone who has it, right? Make sure you get it. If that's what you want to do, get it. And I want to write a poem, right? I love that, right? I want to write a poem that makes me laugh out loud or use, don't be mad if I don't use all the elements of poetry at the same time in one poem. Like it's all good, man. You know what I mean? The reaction of the audience, right? Levitate on stage. It reminds me of the arena. Right? What that poem sounds like to me is Maximus taking the dirt in his hand, right? Like this is gonna be bloody, but I'm gonna enjoy every bloody minute of it, right? That's what that poem sounds like to me, that you want to get bloody with it. There are ways to do it, sir. You want to get down like that, let people know. For real, let people know. That's some heavyweight work. There's some slam life that you can get into and do just that. Appreciate you. Welcome to the greatest community in the world, man. For real. Make sure you put your information in there, man. Because listen, welcome. We are about that life, sir. Whew. All right, listen. Elizabeth Horan is having some issues, some audio issues, so we will circle back. So we will get to the next cat right here, who I like to say, right, he is like the Marshall Mathers of this mathematical transference that we call poetry. He just does this in a way that no one else does, right? And he's kind of incredible at it. You're about to find out. The one and only Zach Frater is in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you. Always great to see you. Come on, man. Take it away.
I really appreciate that. Thanks, dude. That's a lot. Hey, thank you so much, everyone. It's been a great night. I don't like explaining any poems or anything, but I have to say that this is like one of the oldest poems I've ever written, and then my newest poem, I just put them together. So there's 2 poems, but it'll be quick, I think. Thank you so much, Elemental. Hey. I was walking down the road when I stopped by a stream, a beautiful stream in which I could see the fishies swim. Tadpoles looked so free. I asked aloud, how can God be so loving and so kind, yet leave so much disaster behind? As I sat there in the warmth of the summer in the cool shade behind an orange grove, I heard a small voice from up the hill. A boy, maybe 13, in overalls, with short hair, piece of grass between his teeth. Well, we don't talk to God no more around here. We find pleasure in little things, the sun and the grass and the frogs that chirp into the night, the cool breeze which blows through these trees, the way only your mother can sing, the feeling of holes in your jeans, the color your hair turns after too much sun, the way your heart feels when you think she's the one. Gave up long ago on God. I was so taken back, I lost my step, fell straight into the stream. It sounded nice, I thought. It sounded pure. It sounded like heaven on earth. Now, if you don't believe in God, what happens when you die? You can't get to heaven with sin in your heart. God sees all, from these tadpoles to the tallest trees. He hears you when you sleep and knows when you have bad thoughts, untrue. The boy with only a smile now came a little closer. He didn't seem afraid, like he had never known fear. A brave boy, I thought, to approach a stranger. You see, that's the thing. You hear in the streets, you see it on TV. God exists in the churches and in the politicians' speech. Out here, we believe in someone else. I feel him when I walk bare feet across the cool beach. I feel him when I swim in this stream. I feel him in the pure ecstasy of masturbation. With this, I felt a sense of shame. Masturbation, that boy said, that's something I keep to myself. I forbid playing with it. I mean, God could see. Boy laughing. Now. There you go. You see, Pan would never let us feel shamed. It's the natural way. Scroll Instagram. Like, heart, random photo. Girl, snow on ground, changing season, different person. I think I could change. Please, for my daughters, don't chase other girls. Put them first. Reminder, God is dead. Don't look at the sky. Feet remain firmly on ground. They say apple a day. They say a lot. But just be yourself. Like limited edition poster hanging in living room. I can't be anything but myself. Look at me. Wish my mom was still here. Left long ago. Dad can't even get a phone call. Drove to Texas. Stepbrother didn't even call. Drove through New Mexico. I'm here. We could talk. Dad, everything could be in the past. That taco trailer sitting on the truck bed. We could go back. I think I was 10. You joked. Not too spicy. You knew the owner. You act like we never knew each other. I don't know what to do, but meeting halfway seems like the right move. Center field, coin toss. I promise. I apologize first. All the car rides, hay bales. Told the people this kid can work. Bucking hay, hot sun. Now, Dad's not here. Summer sun.
Telling you, that dude he just rips it, man. Every time. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Zach Frater.
Yeah, I couldn't tell what was the oldest part and what was the newest part. It seems so in the moment. You know, what really was getting to me, like so many times when I hear you deliver, is this tone you use, which is very complicated. It's kind of like a complaint, but it's also kind of like making an excuse sound sometimes. And just really love the work you do that ends up traveling around so much, where you do all those snapshot things, but then you end up working in a narrative story to the poem too. So thanks again, Zach.
Like I said, man, that dude just does some real heavy Marshall Mathers type stuff with it, right? Like I just appreciate how deep you dig into that, right? This is not, you wearing makeup. This is not a cape that you wear, for the festivities. Like this is really who you are, and it comes through, like you said, tadpoles to the tallest trees, right? God exists in the churches and politicians' speech. Hey. I mean, you act like we never knew each other. Like, come on, man. The way that you do that, I need you to keep doing it. And listen, Jedi Master is on something, right? How you deliver it, right? It's like on those two things, it's beating different drums, right? But you have a rhythm, right? And that's how you put it together. All of that becomes a signature of your work. Keep it going, keep it flowing. All right, let's get to this good luck round. Coming up, first in this good luck round, listen, no matter how chaotic our week gets, we're about to find balance because this incredible gentleman comes through with his, I don't know, maybe impossible harmonics, but they're only Joski harmonics. I'm telling you, the one and only Joski C is in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you, Joski. Always great to see you, sir. Please take it away.
Hey, Elemental. Oh, it's great to see you as well. And thank you. So I wrote this first piece a couple of days ago, and I was happy to see this morning that Joe Biden actually took a step in this direction. So there you go for the power of poetry. The Pardon. My name is Joe. My age is old. My gig is up. It's time to go. Got one big act of mercy left before I leave this show. Today, I pardon innocence for failing to prevail in systems serving all the rich with all their racist jails. Today, I pardon nonviolence, imprisoned in a cage, jailed by blind injustice and by our extremist ways. Keep the psychopaths on lockdown, lock up the dangerous. Let the rest have freedom. You are pardoned, I proclaim, while I'm still president. And I have one more thing. This is about RFK Jr., who is Trump's nominee to be the Secretary of Health. And so I swear to you, these stories are true. The whale, the bear, and the worm. Who brings such a thing to the beach? The whale must have thought he was ISIS, walking on sand with his chainsaw revved, chopping off heads 'cause he likes it. He dressed his kids in garbage bags to protect them from the slime, then drove home as the dead whale's head watched from the roof of the car. He wants to be Secretary of Health, infection of the times. With stealth, he staged a black bear's death in Central Park next to a bicycle. A mystery the poor police for years could not decipher. He wants to be Secretary of Health, infection of the times. Lost in a labyrinth of tunnels and turns left by the worm in his brain, his twisted thoughts recycle and spin over and over again. He wants to be Secretary of Health, to free the pathogens, No garbage bag protection from plagues upon our children. No garbage bag protection from the twisted thoughts of a brain worm. He wants to be Secretary of Health, infection of the times. He is dead whale blind. He has dead bear stealth. He has dead worm tunnels. He has twisted thoughts. He can kiss the ring. He can diss vaccines. But the whale and the bear and the worm all seem wiser.
It's a jungle. Sometimes it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. Mute yourself. Give it up for Joski. See?
Wonderful parable of inequities. It suggests emphatically how much, we need to document these people before they start fucking up this place.
That's a dream we're going to have to be chasing, unfortunately. I'm afraid.
I like hearing you read poetry, Joski. It's fun. I enjoy it. I mean, I love your music always, but I really enjoyed that.
Whether he is treating us to the harmonics of his instrument or his voice, Joski is just one of those folks, and we're just amazed at what you do, Joski. From the new shit that you shared, right? Today, I pardon nonviolence, right? You are pardoned, I proclaim, while I am president. Wow, man. Wow. But hey, if you can't, pardon your people before, as president, then what's the point? Right? Like, the second piece, chopping off heads because he likes it, infection of the times, right? No garbage bag protection. When you kiss the ring and you have to bow down to the ring, yeah, it's a lot that comes along with it. Wow. I love what we do so very much. Joski, you're a great reminder of why I love what we do so much. Because you're probably the calmest riot inciter I've ever met, sir. For real. For real. Thank you, sir, for doing what you do, truly. All right, 3 more artists this evening. Coming up next, this artist continues to come through, right? With all the things that are going on in her life and the working that she's doing, she still finds time to come through and get down with us. The one and only Elizabeth Horan is in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you. Always great to see you. Come on, take it away.
Thank you. And, I think I just feel better in the good luck round. I don't know. I went out to the barn to give the horses and the donkeys a last snack. And one of my mares was what they call cast. Like she was laying down, she couldn't get up. So I had to help her get her old lady butt up off the floor. So, it's just stuff that's just like my usual there. And and the babies are asleep now. See, so it's good timing. So I'd like to continue on the Plath path. And last week I did some kind of in my voice to Sylvia. And you're going to hear a little bit of her voice tonight speaking back to me. I realize, I'm going out there on that limb, but here we go. This one is called Robin's Egg Blue. Soft birdie loves her nightlight, gowns her body and walks the last cerulean mile, flies in her mind, a miserly broken wing trails, ramparts, fizzling Hitler's last stand. What a bunker, what a brawn, what a petty woman's war or stronghold. Had she had a birdie to release, did she wish for a pop-out screen or a female parliament to impeach? Did she know what I know, that her daddy was her lover? Did she know of the fetus which doth smother a new mother? Daughter turns, burns. Small broken bird falls to asphalt out jail window, so softly as the morning eats children. Thank you, and I'll do one more if you don't mind. This one is called Scrubbing Dishes. Haha, child, this is all you've got. My nights are filled with sunken ships, filled with fetuses born of this witch. Little spines, crooked, broken, fingers, toes, only count to 7 and curled, hideous, veins outside of transparent skin. A heart beats black, the lungs puff, sooted. My daddy takes me from behind, sings Edelweiss and Baby Mime, lines a gun up between my eyes. Dr. Mengele fingers the trigger, but I don't die, not even close. Rather, I sing to showers full of ghosts, women with rashes and pubic lice, men swinging low, pissing scars of sacredness. Trains of cows full of meat to market whoosh by in a clickety-clack, the waving faces of Wiesel and Niemöller and Milosh. Inside carcasses, dear God, racks over racks of children, my mind inside out. Ted, 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 dead, gone, ripped front to back, dick to head. Me, blue nighty, rooftop flyer. God says, go for it, Sylvia. Go ahead and be a martyr. Thank you very much.
Damn. This is why I love our community. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Elizabeth Hart.
Wow. Woo. Woo. That was deep.
I'm taking a deep breath. I'm like, whew.
Yeah,
Amazing.
the surreal viscerality of that last poem was about as pungent as it gets, Elizabeth.
I think your donkey purposely wanted you to come to the bomb because, like, those poems need to wait till the good luck round, right? You know,
Maybe. Do you guys remember when in the other night when it just said Nemoller on YouTube? It's because I used it in the poem. So I was trying to pronounce it correctly.
Yeah, don't trust that closed captioning. You know that's the technology. That's not even us. That's Zoom and YouTube doing that. So they're not as smart as us poets. Let me say it. We are way smarter than technology.
Sometimes.
Even the Genius app gets it wrong, right? Hip hop artists complain about it all the time. The Genius app misquoting them all the time. Thank you for taking us along for part 2 of your Plath path. I'm digging the Plath path. It's working. And then Robin Egg Blue, like listen, this is twice now, and I gotta shout out my partner Ghostwriter too. She said so what was it? What a bunker, what a brawn. Like, oh my gosh. Like in the perspective of how you mentioned that, like those were incredible pieces. And then in the second piece, right? I sing to showers full of ghosts. Whew. Like that, maybe that's why the acoustics are so good in the shower. Who knows? Thank you for doing what you do, for taking the time and hanging out with us. Shout out the kids. Shout out all of the animals in the barn. Appreciate you. All right. Coming up next, our Jedi Master is in the building. You have heard his commentary this evening. We would not be here doing this the way that we're doing this if it weren't for people like this who have been rocking it and holding it down so many mics. So many mics, man. I am always thankful and grateful for this cat to come through and continue to rock with us. The one and only Paul Skiff is in the building, y'all. Let these folks know where they can find you. It is always great to see you, man. Please take it away.
Oh, hi, everybody. Sorry, I have absolutely no idea what's going on with my screenshot. It just decided to, go counter to gravity today. So that's technology for you. I think I remember one of the Apollo astronauts saying one of the biggest thoughts going through his head as he sat on top of this huge bomb on the launching pad was it had been made by the lowest bidder. I don't have anything on theme, but let's do this thing I wrote kind of during the height of the COVID thing. Because to death we all taste the same. If I am not an open mouth, there would be no place. Uncertainty cancels inevitable, maybe. In every no place I happen in multiples of perhaps that propose fractured logic as home planets of emotional eating with gravity made from reluctant swallows. The attention span curfew took away from mathematics ability to describe corners, so direction could no longer veer, change, or be an equivocation. Deciding to go somewhere, a reverse pincushion that takes the point out of relevance, vasectomy, simple need. Simple need. Dreams a world whose mouth is masochists. Basic necessity hides up the street in an ultrasound of waiting too long. Certain acts do not result from certain acts do not result from design. Certain acts do not result from deciding. The pharmacy trip strategy to dodge a voracious microbe is like an interior rap where rhymes are not sounds made by the mouth but interchanges of ideas, interchanges of ideas whose flow is plunged into by what the heck, scared as the long way down, scared as the personal tornado, scared as the arm that sweeps whole shelves full of goods into a garbage bag and runs out of the store on a person who jumps the brink on consequence to get to surviving. Jump the brink on consequence to get to surviving.
I don't always know when that starship lands, but you just have to let it settle. Goodness. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Paul Skip.
Wow, the poem was too powerful for CP's microphone, and in Paul's case, it was too much for the Zoom camera to handle. Paul, I'm gonna private message you. There is a trick in the video settings to turn it around. But hey, great production effect, love it.
Thanks. Help me figure that out. That'd be appreciated.
That was beautiful. Like personally, that was beautiful. The fact that it was a mind warp, and then you had the mind warping audio, like you were coming in, tuning in from another planet's frequency, or so, like it was amazing. Anytime that you break into your chanting, sir, I'm gone. I'm already lost. Like seriously. You said whose mouth is a masochist. Rhymes are not sounds of the mouth, but interchanges of ideas. You just do some amazing things, sir. Right? And you have been doing them for so long, and I'm so thankful that you continue to do them at such a high level. Thank you. For real. Listen, we have one more artist. I see you, Open Minds. You got something that you wanna jump in and share with us, Open Minds, about what the Jedi Master just did?
Yo, so he inspired me not too long ago about doing a tonal piece, right? And I had covered one of his pieces, and it changed my perspective on music and the way to read it. And it opened up this whole new gateway for me. And I had covered one of his pieces, and I think I'm gonna be working on another tonal piece because that's just like inspiration right there.
I have to agree, sir. Thank you for sharing that with us, Open Minds. Appreciate you. Shout out Thomas and Catalyst, Open Minds, Open Mic. Appreciate y'all truly. The way that you use your voice, as I mentioned with Joski, right, about the harmonics, right, the frequencies that you exist on, Jedi Master, are only yours, right? The way that Joski brings about his wave and fluctuality of his harmonics, and the way that you do what you do, right? It's ours. It belongs to us. It defies whatever genre, it defies whatever encapsulation that they want to put in it. It belongs to us. It's the freedom of our artwork and our creativity. And it's beautiful. Every time you do it, it just reminds me of the depictions of, folks sitting around fires and chanting. I'm just gone, right? Every time I hear Joski, every time I hear Catman, every time I hear Paul Skip do what they do, it just does that. Thank you. Thank you for doing what you do. And now he's right side up, like he just landed back on planet Earth. Appreciate you, Jedi Master, for doing what you do, and appreciate RMT for making sure it worked. Listen, we're going to end the night with this incredible artist who has continued to come through, right? He had the locks in the beginning and he cut his locks. This cat is working. Every time I hear him, every time I see a social media post from this cat, he continues to work. And I am thankful that he continues to do just that. The one and only Principe is in the building to close us out this evening. Come on, Principe. Let these folks know where they can find you. Always great to see you, man. Come on. Take it away.
I'm sharing four poems tonight. And the first poem is called Protect Your Heart. Your heart is precious metal. Anyone can convert your emotions. They melt your happiness into particles of sadness. Sadness through petals of tears is sentimental sorrows. Could you invest it into stocks of your relationship? That same investment has depreciated the value of love for you. Never again trust your heart in faulty hands. Your depreciated love is skewed, is unscrewed. It's like rusted boats. Self-love is going to be your ROI. Restoring love in your once hardened heart. Never open your heart to just anyone, because not everyone is fair. And that's what they called Couldn't Teach Me How to Be a Man. In my baby picture, a snuggly blue blanket lay underneath me, staring off to the right under hospital lights. The little swimmer I once was, but now I sit firmly onto my pool of love, my mother. I was sealed by her comfort. As a toddler, she became the main provider. Yet I was blinded by her mothering me too much, always speaking for me. She could have let me get my own voice. She couldn't catch me in the attempted act of chasing the mirror. She couldn't teach me much on the act, but I can't blame her. Not even to put on a protective cover. Learned that from a sultry stranger. Yet my mother taught me many things, like cooking, like tying a shoe, like reading a book, but couldn't teach me how to be a man. And that poem is called Polarized Personality. My polarized personality is not a lie. I'm an ocean, but with a turtle shell. Ocean with a tempestuous hurricane. Hurricane of emotions, wrinkling my face, overthinking. Overthinking about what if scenarios. Yet, I got a turtle shell, so detached and attached to the devices. At the mouth, few words come out like a hermit. My mind, a mess, it never rests. Still, I'm Gentile, but from a distance. Distance as in 3,434 feet away from the closest person from me. All in all, I have a polarized personality. My mind, my heart. My mind is the cave, the darkness within. Crowds, empty spaces in my mind. And the darkness, my negative thoughts. The darkness moves like a snake. It swirls around and wraps itself like wallpaper. Never does it leave unless I believe. Believe myself so I can seek reclamation over my mind. And I'll read one more. Doable dreams. Your dreams are doable. Just believe. Whatever it's traveling past the boundaries of your universe, or like me, being a successful writer. Obstacles will be there in your obstacle course, in your reaching for mountaintops. They will hit like fists, regardless. Let your will you to the finish line. You got in an athlete's foot. Persistence. Don't piss away your momentum. Don't piss away your momentum of persistence. Don't let others get to your subconscious either. Thus, these Confucius or lessons are gilded. Your dreams are doable, so chase them. Thank you.
Telling you, every time I hear that dude, he's just inspirational, man. You just gotta hear it. Unmute yourself, give it up for Principe.
Yeah, don't piss away your momentum. Just another one of those phrases you come up with, Principe, I could put on my wall. I really identified with your mother poem too. It's really, really made a beautiful statement about, these people we're so close to and we look for so much from, and how it's kind of easier to be taught really simple, practical things. And it's just totally different to try and teach a person how to be who they are and become a person. I think sometimes we expect too much from parents like that, you know? That was just a really concise and beautiful expose of that.
No, it's a rough one. It's a rough one, folks. You know, coming up in a single parent home, it's not always easy to accept the things that your parent does or says, but it is the way it is because it is, right? I used to hear that a lot, right? Oh, this can't do that, that can't do this, but I've seen it, right? It just depends on situations. It depends on perspectives. It depends on, you know, like it's such a monopoly, like the game. It just really is. But I'm thankful that you, just as a lot of your colleagues this evening, Principe, came through and put in the work, right? And this is a sign of the times. Honestly, it is putting in the work, right? And we're one more open mic away, and we're gonna party like it's 1999, and it seems like that's what we're doing this evening, right? The doable dreams, right? Teach me how to be a man, my polarized, you know, personalities. Come on, folks, right? Scenarios and turtle shells and you know, being a successful writer and let your will, right? Let your will you to the finish line. That's just a dope night that I want everyone to sit with this evening. Let your will you to the finish line, right? Thanks to Principe this evening. Listen, thanks to every single artist that ripped this evening, from Professor Platinum Doug Silver, who started us off this evening, to Principe finishing us off. Shout out Open Minds, Open Mic, Thomas and Catalyst. Shout out Ray Whitaker, who hit me up also. Shout out to New Eurekan Symphony, right? Listen, so many things. Shout out the Jedi Master. Listen, so many incredible artists. Shout out the Pushcart nominees. Shout out the Poet Laureates. Shout out the Beat Poet Laureates in our community. One of the greatest communities, if not the, and I'm telling you, it is the greatest community in the world. Thank you all. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're rocking with us this Thursday. Thank you so very much for all your energy, all your genius. For the folks in the room, hang out. We will jump into the cipher. For the folks online, thank you so much. Make sure you are plugging in with the New Eurekan Poets Cafe and all the things that we do. Until next week, we're going to end the night like this. Until we meet again, may this energy we conjured this evening supercharge the rest of your week. Take this power, inspire others, energize creativity as we all hope to do through the spirit of Miguel Agarin. Your voice is appreciated, necessary, and always valuable in this space. Thank you for sharing it with us. Never forget, cowards get buried here, and we reclaim our strength through our fearlessness. On behalf of the greatest community in the world, it has truly been a pleasure spending Thursday night with y'all.